Greetings YouTube, Joe here with Culination Media, and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon White. This is episode number 32, and in this episode we've got a lot going on. Of course, we have some battles that we have to take care of here on Route 7, the first of which is against Backpacker Ruth. She's going to start off with a Minccino. It's a pure normal type, it's a level 31, and we're going to send out Servine to take care of it. It's not that big of a deal. Should be able to take it out in 1 or 2 hits. I'm going to say 2, and yeah. He just barely hangs on with what looks like 2 or 3 HP. And we'll finish it off with a tackle. Some of the other things we have going on in this episode, we should be having at least 1 evolution, if not 2. And we're also going to be adding a 5th member to our team. So quite an eventful episode, especially because the last couple of episodes really haven't been that eventful at all. So it's a nice change of pace. Alright, we have Pokemon Ranger Mary here. And she's going to start off with a Swadloon. It's the evolution of Sewaddle. It's a bug and grass type Pokemon. It's at level 30. It is defense oriented. So, because of that, I don't think Servine's going to be able to take care of it. I'm going to switch out to Archon. And it goes for a String Shot, which actually is avoided by Archon, which is kind of unlucky because it has 95% accuracy. Goes for the Protect, so it's basically just stalling. It can't do anything to me. Acrobatics, obviously, is going to take it out. It's 4 times super effective. And Swadloon has no chance. Simipour is going to be the next Pokemon, so it's the evolution of Panpour. So we'll send Servine back out to KO this thing. We should be faster than it, and we are, although these monkeys can be pretty fast in their evolved form. Anywho, Leaf Blade takes it out in 1 hit, and Servine is going to grow up to level 36. And he's trying to learn the move Coil, so I'm going to teach that to him because that's an amazing move, actually. And it increases... Actually, I'm going to get rid of growth there, because Coil increases your accuracy, attack, and defense all in the same turn. It's kind of like Quiver Dance, kind of, sort of, but not at the same time. But instead of speed, it goes for accuracy. Doesn't really matter. Servine and its evolution are both very fast to begin with, so you don't necessarily need that speed boost. Alright, so we have Tranquil as the next Pokemon. It's at level 30 in normal and flying type, and Archon lays it to waste pretty quickly with 1 ancient power. And now we have our first evolution. Servine is evolving. And there we have it. Servine has evolved into its final form, Serperior. And I love Serperior, although it does have a very, very shallow move pool, and it's very predictable as such. It's still, that doesn't stop it from being an awesome Pokemon. Okay, so it keeps its pure grass type, and look at that speed stat. 103 at level 36. It also has 75 defense, and 80 special defense, along with 101 HP. So, needless to say, this set, well, I guess this just Serperior in general, combines something that is usually pretty rare, and that is speed and high defenses. So not only is it faster than a lot of Pokemon, but it also can take quite a bit of hits, especially even super effective hits. But it doesn't have a lot in the way of attacking power, but it doesn't really need it. Leaf Blade is really all I'm going to be relying on for the most part. I will be teaching it a couple of TMs, and I'll be making use of Coil to increase its attack and also further increase its ability to wall physical attackers. So I'm looking forward to using this Serperior. It should be interesting. That's for sure. It's not as powerful as the other 2 starters, but it does have its uses for sure. Alright, moving on. In this battle here, we have Solosis at level 31. It's a pure Psychic type, and we've got Zebstrika out. And we're going to finish it off with 1 single Spark, because Solosis just does not have enough defense to stand up to that. Alright, the next Pokemon is a Pokemon I do not believe we have seen up until this point. It's going to be Axew. And it is a pure Dragon-type Pokemon. And yes, I do suggest you pick up one of these. It's actually in the Mistralton Cave that we can't get to at this point. We need Surf first, so it's going to be a little bit before we can get there. But it's one of the best attackers in the game. In fact, I believe out of all Pokemon that are not legendary, Haxorus has the highest base attack stat, and Haxorus is Axew's final form, by the way. Alright, so there's a Max Ether over here, so pick that up. I don't know if I'm ever going to use that, so I'll probably end up selling it, but instead of going into the Celestial Tower, which was to the north, I'm going to go east, and we're going to stop by this house, because I believe they heal you up here. And yes, she does. You talk to this lady on the rug over here, she will completely heal your team, so you don't have to keep going back to the Pokemon Center if you're having issues, or if you're just deciding to train in the area. We'll be back in this house a little bit later on in the game with regards to a legendary Pokemon, but that's not relevant right now. The cross transceiver is ringing, and it's Mom. This is your mom! How are you doing? Wow, you're already on Route 7? You've gone quite far. Say, how are your Pokemon? You can't get that far all by yourself, you know? Oh, I know, Mom. It's all thanks to your Pokemon. Don't forget to take care of them. Am I being too serious? Well, take care. Well, why don't you ever let me get to say anything? Like, I don't understand. That wasn't much of a conversation at all. So anyway, on these beams here, you have to keep moving, because if you stand still, you'll just fall off. And there's a guy up here that will battle you. He's a Harlequin. And he has 2 Pokemon. Harlequin Pat, he's going to send out Emolga first. It's at level 30, and as we know, it is an electric and flying type Pokemon. Has the static ability, so making physical contact with it can be kind of dangerous. I don't really have an option here, because Zebstrika only has physical moves, and that costs me, as I do get paralyzed from the static condition there. Or static ability, I don't know why I say condition. And of course, Emolga is just spamming Double Team, because they don't know how to do anything else. And I'm paralyzed and can't move, so it doesn't matter anyway. We'll just keep going for Flame Charge until it eventually hits, because it's bound to hit at some point. And there we go. So that wasn't too bad. Emolga should have spent a little bit more time trying to attack. Anyway, his next Pokemon is going to be the very annoying Sigilyph, and I'm going to keep Zebstrika out for this and try to go for a Spark to KO it. Air Cutter is first, and it doesn't get the critical hit, and I'm paralyzed and can't move again. This time it's going to go for Psybeam, which is going to do more damage, and it gets me down to about half health, not quite though. And Spark does indeed take it out in one hit. So there you go. And Zebstrika is going to grow up to level 36 as a result, and it's going to try to learn Discharge, which is actually quite a powerful move. It has 80 base power, and in double and triple battles, it affects everyone that's on the field, but I'm not going to teach that to him, because it's just not a good move, because it's a special attack, and Zebstrika relies heavily on its physical attacking stat. I'm going to go back and heal really fast. We did pick up a TM in the grass over there. It was X-Scissor, so pretty much any team that's not my team could put X-Scissor to good use. It's an amazing move. It's a very reliable physical bug-type move. It has 80 base power. It doesn't have any added effects or anything, but it's just a great, reliable move. So, yeah, I mean, I believe Samurott and Duat can learn it. Not Duat. I'm pretty sure Samurott can learn it, though, so if you did start with Oshawott, you could put it on him. Also, you can give it to Leavanny if you have one, but I don't have either of those. Nor do I have anyone on my team that can learn it at this point, so I'm not going to worry about that. We have another Harlequin battle here, and this one's going to have a Tynamo at level 29. It's a pure electric-type Pokemon, and has the Levitate ability, I believe. I'm not sure if it needs to evolve first before getting it, but I'm pretty sure it does. So don't use Ground-type moves, just attack it with your strongest moves. It doesn't have anything that's that powerful. Ducklett is his next Pokemon. I'm going to keep Archon out, go for the Ancient Power, and that's going to finish him off. And that was fairly easy. Tranquil is next, and we're going to go for another Ancient Power and just go for the clean sweep here with Archon. And that'll take care of Tranquil. Goodbye. And Archon will also grow up to level 36. And he should be evolving in another level or so. So we might see an Archon evolution in this episode, depending on how many more battles we have. Alright, so to the north here we have Twist Mountain, and this will lead us to Osiris City eventually, but we can't go in there at this point because there's a worker blocking it. We have to get the Mistralton badge before we can think about going that way, so yeah, that's not for now. But we can battle this hiker, and that's why I came over here. He starts off with a Boulder at level 34. I'm going to go for the Dragon Breath because it is a special attack. It paralyzes him, but he goes for Power Gem, which is a curious move. It does do a decent amount of damage because Archon is just pretty fragile. And it drops me below where the defeatist mark is for half health. And another Power Gem ends up taking Archon out. So that didn't work out so well. We did get Boldor paralyzed, and we removed the Sturdy, though. So Zebstrika can come in and clean up pretty effectively with one spark. We got a crit, but it doesn't matter. And Boldor goes down. Girder is going to be the replacement Pokemon. It's pure fighting type. It is at level 34, so we don't really have that much of an advantage on it at all as far as levels go. Goes for the Chip Away, which is kind of stupid if you ask me. Should have went for a fighting move. But we'll go for another Spark, and it goes for Chip Away again. Gets us down to about half health, but third Spark is going to be too much for this Girder to handle, and down it goes. We get some nice attack EVs for that, and Zebstrika also grows up to level 37. And that's going to be it for this hiker. And you can save him until later if you want, but he's kind of annoying at that point because you think that you've fought all the trainers in this area, and then you get stuck battling that hiker before you head into the mountain, so oh well. But anyway, got stuck using a Max Repel here because I fell off the ledge. I don't know why I'm so retarded and don't have enough coordination to handle walking across the beam thing. But anyway, might as well go heal up because Archon got destroyed and I'm trying to get him to evolve, so might as well get all healed up before we head into the Celestial Tower, which is the only other thing that we have to do at this point. And it looks like Zebstrika is the one holding the Lucky Egg, so take the Lucky Egg off him, and let's see. We'll give... What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I was looking for the Lucky Egg. We'll give that to Seismitoad. I don't usually like to give the Lucky Egg to Archon because of his acrobatics move, so that attack would be severely weakened if I did give him an item, so I don't want to do that. Just checking to see if there's any items around the side here. It doesn't appear as though there are, but there is some shaking grass over here, so I'm going to go ahead and battle the Pokemon in here, which is most likely Audino, and it is. It's at level 26, and this will give us a nice experience boost as well as some HP EVs. So we'll go and go ahead for an Acrobatics there, which almost takes out the Audino, but not quite. Goes for a Secret Power, which is not very effective. It would have the added effect of putting your opponents to sleep, and I think it's like a 30% chance. But he doesn't get it, so we're able to take him out with a Crunch. We get some decent experience from that. Now we can head on into the tower. Celestial Tower, and see if anybody will give us anything here. Doesn't appear as though they will. They're just talking about how this is a tower for Pokemon that have passed on and all that good stuff. So we've got quite a bit of trainers in here, and we're also going to be capturing our next team member in here as well. But first, we'll battle this Psychic here. Alright, so Psychic Doreen, and she's going to send out a Pokemon we have not seen yet, Elgyem. And it is a pure Psychic type, and I believe it has the Levitate ability, although I'm not entirely certain on that. And it has a lot of special attack. It is slow, but it's very powerful, so make sure you take it out fairly quickly. Thankfully, I have Archon that takes out Solosis as well with Crunch. And we've got Sigilyph coming out next, another Psychic-type Pokemon. This one's at level 30, and it goes for the Light Screen, which means that Ancient Power is not going to take out Sigilyph in one hit. And in fact, it only does about a third worth of its HP of damage, and Sigilyph somehow is faster than me this turn and goes for Air Cutter, which is not very effective, but Crunch is super effective, and it bypasses the Light Screen because it's a physical attack. Takes out the Sigilyph, and Archon grows up to level 37, which was our goal, and it's time for him to evolve. And there you have it, folks. Archon has evolved into Archeops. Is probably the most, well, not the most, but one of the most powerful attackers just mixed attackers in the entire game. Look at that. 114 attack, 106 HP, 98 special attack as well, so it's a great mixed attacker. I can keep Dragon Breath and Ancient Power on it safely. And 88 speed as well, so it can outspeed a lot of things. Its weakest stats are obviously its defense and special defense, but because of its defeatist ability, you're not really going to want to use it a whole lot once it drops below the half HP mark anyway, so it's a good sweeper to bring in and just clean up and just deal massive amounts of damage. So that's what I'm going to be using it for. We have Deerling here in this next battle, and we're going to use Seismitoad against it. It's at level 30, it's a normal and grass-type Pokemon, and of course we're going to go for Acid, which is super effective. Deerling bypasses going for a Grass move, which would have probably crippled Seismitoad. We're able to finish it off with another Acid. Alright, Gothita is next, and it has its Frisk ability, so it can check what our held item is. And that doesn't really do anything for it because it's a lucky egg. And Muddy Water gets rid of Gothita pretty easily, so that wasn't that bad. And we can pick up this item here, which is a Hyper Potion, and I will be putting that to good use because especially towards the end of the game, and after we get another badge or so, we can start using Hyper Potions because a lot of my Pokemon, in fact, all 4 of them on my team are over 100 HP now. And all of my current team members are over... not over, but they're all in their final evolve form. Alright, so this is going to be the Pokemon that we're going to be adding to our team. It's at level 28, and it's Litwick. And it is a Fire and Ghost-type Pokemon, which I think is just an awesome typing. So it's pretty cool. It goes for the Will-O-Wisp, and that's going to burn us, and I love Will-O-Wisp. I think that's an amazing move. And I'm going to go for the Flame Charge just to see what its ability is, because it can have either Flame Body or Flash Fire. Obviously it has Flash Fire because Flame Charge was absorbed. I'm going to go for the Thunder Wave there to paralyze it and cripple it a little bit. I am burned, so my physical attacks wouldn't do that much, but I'm still a little bit afraid to go for the Spark because Litwick has bad defenses. And yeah, I mean, it would be a stab Spark even while I'm burned. I still have a 9 level advantage on it. Goes for the Will-O-Wisp again, so now Seismitoad is burned also. And I'll go for the Aqua Ring to restore a little bit of my health. I don't know why it's going for Imprison. That just prevents me from using the same moves that it has, and the chances of Litwick and Seismitoad having the same moveset are pretty non-existent, so yeah. Alright, so I'm just going to be whittling its health down here with Acid and hope I don't get a critical hit, or if I do, that I get one early and not when he gets down into the yellow. But yeah, it's not very effective because he's a ghost type, and once I get him down into the yellow, I should be able to safely capture him, even with like a Pokeball probably, because he is paralyzed and he is in his base evolved form as well. So this is a 3 evolution set. So one of them, I believe, evolves... not one of them. Litwick evolves into the first form, or I guess it's the second form, first evolution though. That's level 41, and then it'll evolve into its final form with the help of a Duskstone, but we're not going to worry about that right now. Caught it in a Great Ball. It's a Candle Pokemon, Ghost and Fire, as I said. While shining a light and pretending to be a guide, it leeches off the life force of any who follow it. That is freaking creepy, and that is why it belongs on my team. It belongs on my team for a lot of other reasons too, and I'm going to explain that a little bit, but we'll use a Max Repel so we can get out of here safely without getting attacked by a wild Pokemon. I do have to walk around this grave here. That kind of sucks. And we're going to head back to the Poke Center, actually, because I want to add it to my team. And it's about time to call this an episode, so it'll give me a chance to train off screen and get him somewhat close to the rest of my team. And yeah, we can use him in some battles throughout the rest of the Celestial Tower. So, Litwick's main weakness here is its speed, which is like probably in the teens at level 28. That actually gets a lot better. Through both of its evolutions, it gains a lot of its speed back, and it's a very averagely speedy Pokemon. So it's just like your average Ghost. Not crazy, but it's not terribly slow, at least after it evolves. Its main point here is going to be its special attack, because its base special attack stat, at least after it's in its final evolved form, is actually higher than the likes of Alakazam, Jolteon, Espeon. It's pretty much the best non-legendary special attacker that there is. And as you can see, at level 28, it already has a special attack of 43. And it's only going to get more ridiculous as it continues to evolve and grow. Comes with Will-O-Wisp, Flame Burst, Imprison, and Hex. Will-O-Wisp and Hex is an awesome combination because Hex only has 50 base power, but its added effect is that it doubles in damage if the Pokemon has a status condition, so you can do that on back-to-back turns and pretty much just destroy teams. Unfortunately, Litwick is probably going to go last, but you can burn them so that they can inflict a lot of physical damage on you and then just destroy them with Hex afterwards, which actually becomes more powerful than Shadow Ball would if they're burned. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to put him to good use. He can also learn some amazing moves like Psychic and Energy Ball, which I will teach to him later on. Those are TMs that we get after the Elite Four, however, so that'll have to be for the second round of the Elite Four, which I'm planning on doing at this point because I figured why not. Because, I mean, if I stop after the first one, we actually don't get to fight Alder, so that wouldn't make a lot of sense. But anyway, I'm going to call it an episode here as we're back near the Celestial Tower. It's going to be it for this time, guys. Got a lot done this time. Hopefully next time we can be just as productive. But stay tuned for episode number 33. Game on!